we've heard everything. You know, I lost my dog. Have you seen it? Are you interested in landscaping? You know, whatever, you fill in the story. But they won't go in the house until they feel that nobody's home. And then there's the distraction type. Does everybody know what that is? Distraction burglars? Yeah? No? Okay. The distraction burglars are, say, you'll have a couple guys or a guy dressed as a landscaper or doing electrical work, and they'll say, I'm here to do stuff for your neighbor. But in order to do that work, I need to get through your yard and go through something. So the resident, the neighbor, will let the guy in, walk him to the rear yard, and he'll be on the phone at the same time alerting his partner that's waiting on the car that it's safe to go in. And while they're out in the rear yard, the guy will come in and steal whatever he can. And usually those, the elderly, are targeted for that one. Those are less common, but they usually target the elderly or people with some kind of disability. Or, so you shouldn't let anybody in the house. We have a program now called 5 to 1. You know, you get to know your neighbors on both sides and one's across the street, and you just kind of exchange information and have that all the way down your block. And that way everybody's got everybody's information that you trust. And if you see something suspicious going on at the house across the street or your neighbor, you know, you call them and just say, hey, you're supposed to have work done on your house. Or someone knocks on your door and says, I was hired by your neighbor, call them just to verify, you know. Yes, ma'am.
The other thing to look out for is there's people that come over and they ask to see whether to install alarms or selling the alarm system. And they asked me if I have an alarm system, and I said I did. And then they said, oh, you know, we're selling, so do you know if any of their neighbors are not having any, so that we can sell it to them. Yeah. And so I asked for IDs and, you know, whatever. They didn't have anything. But a week after, actually, my mistake, so lesson learned, I stepped out for like maybe 2 hours, and it did not click my alarm, which I didn't have. But if you don't put it, it's useless, and my house got burglarized. So it was very interesting. It was a week after they moved on.
I'm just going to touch on something too that she brought up about activating the alarm. We have the burglary when somebody's home is called a hot prowl, which is a very dangerous situation. That means it was a burglary with a victim inside the house. And most of the daytime burglaries that are hot prowls are usually accidents where the person knocked on the door and they didn't think anybody was home. And we see it a lot with the kids, you know, the kids that aren't confident to speak to somebody through the door. And so if you have children, we just say, hey, don't instruct them to open the door, but talk to them through the door. My dad's taking a shower, he can't come to the door right now, I can't hear you. And that's enough to let them know somebody's home. But also, you know, what does it hurt to put your alarm on? You know, there was a burglary on the far west side, and the kid was in the house, the alarm wasn't on. Huge house, and the guys were in the house moving around like a horror movie. And he was moving around, and you know, just he knew something was wrong, and he found the glass, and then the guys ran out. If you know, if he had an alarm installed, the alarm would have gone off. He would have known something's up. He could call 911. You know, these are all rare. You know, these are all rarities. I don't want to scare everybody, but if you got the system, use it. You know, even if you're home. I put mine on when I'm taking a nap if I work night watch. I don't want to get surprised.
Well, what can you tell us about recent maybe laws that are coming on in regard to early release? They're trying to get around the early release program. I heard something on the radio, yeah, that they're trying to minimize the early release from prison.
Well, I don't know about the story, but the early release system has definitely hurt us. Our crime was down every year until the AB 109 came in, which was the early release program. And then that was when we saw the only increase since we've been open in the last 5 years. These guys are really, truly like the 2% of society committing all the crime. So it takes 4 or 5 cases before these guys actually get any time. You know, it's out of our hands with the penalties, but we arrested a guy who was on 7 different probation cases for felony drug cases. So, at what point does he get actually punished and no longer can break into people's
So
cars?
the three strike rule, how does that work? Is it three felonies and you're done, or?
Well, that's the way it used to work, but right now they're not.
Oh, they're not enforcing
it's not going
that.
on.
If you're at, I was gonna say just a couple, I don't wanna take.
Yeah, please, I know a lot more about it than I do.
Just a couple things. The early release, in my humble opinion, the thing that's been killing us more than the early release from prison has been the ongoing problem of the early release from county jail, because most of these people, now, especially now, you've got all kinds of felons. Everybody remembers, the one case I always bring up because people remember it from TV, remember Michael Jackson's doctor.
Right.
He got sentenced to several years in prison. He didn't go to state prison. He went to county jail, and it's actually probably only because of who he was, he didn't get let out earlier than that. So all these people are coming out of county jail. There's now this big sheriff's election. It's going to be a big issue in the sheriff's thing as to how much time these people are doing. But trust me, when on the people who we prosecute, they're supposed to be doing half of their time in the county jail. Realistically, they're doing 10 to 20% of their time in the county jail. That's been going on for some time. As to the third strike, the policy it was actually changed in the election that was done. So now it used to be that the first two would be violent, and then the third one could be any felony, and then that was changed in the election. So basically, it has to be a serious crime. But again, those people, if they get convicted, they're going away for a long time. Those aren't the people that are going to be committing the crimes in your neighborhood. It's the guys that are repeat criminals, and they know that they're going to, if you're getting a year, and you're going to be out in a month or two, that's, it's no big deal, that's how it is. And a guy who's been to state prison before, that's like I was saying, running one of these houses, I'm going to prosecute him. I get a lot of guys who are like, okay, I'll go to jail for a month, hang out with my friends, and come right back out again, So they're not like, if you were me, you want to put us in jail for two or 3 months, everyone's flipping out.
Yeah.
For these guys, so what? They don't really care. So unfortunately,
They got room and board and food.
free room and board. And hang out with friends.
To combat that, what we've done here, and most of the divisions are doing it, is we have a list called our repeat offenders list, and it's distributed to all the patrol guys and gals, and their pictures and everything, and it's like a top 10 list of our repeat offenders, so we know to look out for those guys.
We're kind of outside of our area. We weren't able to go to our area meeting, but we manage an apartment building.
I have to ask you guys. Go ahead.
We manage an apartment building, and I feel like I'm always calling, reporting stuff because I'm always seeing this, and we have cameras. That list you mentioned, can I get a hold of one for my area? Because Officer Padilla, love the guy, he does not call back. I have crimes on video, and he's never called back to take a look at it or anything. But if I could spot, if I know who these people are, I'll call 911.
You're in Canoga Park?
Yeah.
We can talk to you afterwards, we'll figure out something for you.
Yeah, because if there's such a list,
Yeah.
I like to know, because there's some people that now I know, okay,
Yeah.
this guy, they're
It might be
looking-
easier if you, after the meeting, give us your address, and then we'll look it up and get a hold of you.
You'll know our building, it's a nice one.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys all help me. I just want to touch on two things before I forget. The stickers on cars, because everybody's getting their new 2014, 2015. I had 3 cars get their plates stolen at the West Hills Hospital this week. And they're taking the plate, they're ripping off the sticker, and then they're tossing the plates. So every once in a while, just look at your car. First of all, make sure it's your plate. And secondly, make sure your sticker's on there. And
I think it's important.
we say make sure it's your plate because sometimes guys will steal a car, find a similar vehicle, switch the plates. Now they have a clean plate. How many people check their plate to make sure it's the right one, So you're driving around with a plate that's actually a reported stolen vehicle, and it buys them time.
Regarding the sticker on the plates, the other day I put my sticker on my car and there's about 8 of them underneath it.
Yeah, that's no good.
So that's no good, exactly. So I shaved all of them off
Yeah.
and I put one in there.
That's the best way to do it.
That's the best way to do it,
And then
yeah.
take a razor blade and just kind of
Yeah.
cut an X over it, So if they try to take it off, they'll take a little triangle
Yeah,
off.
it shreds. There's one on the shreds, yeah.
You mean once you stick it on,
Yeah, just do a little X on it. It's, I mean,
the whole thing?
it's lame, but you know, it's a big hassle for you guys to try to get new ones. It's actually a felony to put that sticker on a vehicle intentionally, because it's defrauding the DMV. That's a serialized device, so believe it or not. The mail is still the #1 way right now. Currently, they're getting people's identities. We used to think it was online, but right now they're going nuts on the mail. So they're going to these big apartment complexes and they're stealing the mail. But we also see it in the residential neighborhoods. I don't know if we talked about it at the last meeting, but